Next, Tom Brenneman and Ron Pitts have the call of the Lions and Packers. Now, with Election Day coming this Tuesday, we've been bombarded with political ad after political ad. Here are a few the FCC wouldn't let air.
If you want a congressman whose motto is blood, sweat, and tears, then on Tuesday vote for Big John Teerling. On Tuesday, vote for Reggie White as your county sheriff. Reggie's tough on crime and brings the long arm of the law with him. Barry Sanders runs like our presidential candidates. You can't pin him down as he flip-flops to Election Day. So on Tuesday, remember, vote for the black and blue ticket. A sunny but cool Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the Central Division matchup between the 4-4 Detroit Lions and the 7-1 Green Bay Packers. A pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Ron Pitts, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. The Detroit Lions are in a little bit of a trouble, Ronnie. They have lost the last couple of games, and now they're without their starting quarterback, Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, Don Majkowski's going to start. Kind of a homecoming for him coming back to Green Bay to play. If anything else, he will give Detroit mobility in the pocket in terms of passing. The big key for them, Barry Sanders. I think Barry Sanders has to get the ball early. Talking to Wayne Fonts yesterday, he said we're going back to basics. Well, to me, that means I'm going to get him the ball, get it to him a lot early in the game, and see what he can do. That's their problem. The guy has gone last 6 games not going over 100 yards. Get him involved and see what happens.
Well, as far as Green Bay is concerned, they have to be troubled about their wounded wide receiving core. They've lost Robert Brooks for the season, now Antonio Freeman for the next 4-6 weeks. What now?
Yeah, Don Beebe becomes the go-to guy. Talking to Brett Favre yesterday, he needs to catch 50 or more balls toward the end of the season. Anthony Morgan is back. Everybody's excited about that. He's actually going to play some today. Terry Mickens will be activated for the first time. These 3 guys have to be productive on the perimeters. Don't forget about the tight ends. 2 Pro Bowlers, Jamorian Jackson, they'll step up. Dorsey Levens, Edgar Bennett, not only running the ball, but they got to be effective in terms of catching out of the backfield.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that today. Coming up, it'll be the Lions and the Packers from Lambeau Field after these messages from your local Fox station.
Dominate, guys. Dominate. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
Titletown, yellow towels out in Green Bay, Wisconsin on this 43-degree fall afternoon. Wayne Fonts, in this his 8th year, the all-time winningest head coach in Detroit Lions history, 57 years old, out of Canton, Ohio. And Mike Holmgren, what a job in this his 5th season. He's led the Packers to 4 consecutive winning seasons, and that was last accomplished by the great Vince Lombardi. Well, the Lions have won the toss, elected to receive. So we'll see this Detroit offense minus Scott Mitchell right from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think what that will mean is, like we said earlier, more mobility with Don Majkowski back there. If Don doesn't see what he likes, he will not hesitate to get out of the pocket and try to make something happen.
Hendricks spins it away, low line drive, and it'll take a couple of hops before Glenn Milburn picks it up at the 5-yard line. Tries to turn it to the outside, and he steps his way out of bounds at the 26. Tyrone Williams there to force him out. So offensively, it'll be the former Green Bay Packer, 32-year-old Don Majkowski. He spent the 87 through 92 seasons in Green Bay, was an All-Pro in 1989. Up front, Robertson Moss at tackles, Compton the rookie, Hastings at the right guard. The All-Pro Kevin Glover is the center. Sanders a lone setback. They'll try and get him started early. Moore, Perriman, and Morton the wideouts. Pete Metzelaars is a tight end. Majkowski getting his first start since 2 seasons ago. And here's Sanders, a big hole off the right side. And he has first down yardage out to the 38. Leroy Butler there on the tackle after a 12-yard gain. The #1 defense in all of football. The ends, Sean Jones and Reggie White. Brown and Dotson having huge years in the middle. Young linebackers, Williams and Simmons, a veteran Kuntz in the middle. And a secondary responsible for 22 interceptions this season. Evans and Newsom the corners. Robinson and Butler are the safety. So right out of the chute, Sanders a 12-yard gain. Looked like a blown play there. Majkowski has to eat it. And he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Sean Jones able to trip him up.
We already saw it right off the bat. Barry Sanders, get it to him now. 20-25 times a game he has to touch that ball. That's the number. Favre is the most accurate passer in the NFL on the move. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him go, especially to his right. Maximize artillery. They got to use everybody. We talked about the 2 Pro Bowl tight ends, and then Dorsey Levens, Edgar Bennett in the backfield, running it as well as catching it. All hands on deck for this one.
Well, Scott Mitchell, the 3rd quarterback today. Johnny Johnson, a rookie out of Illinois, the number 2 man behind Majkowski, who is dropped by Reggie White.
We're talking to Tom Moore, the Lions offensive coordinator, before the game. He is so worried about the front 4 of the Green Bay Packers. And then you got to start with the worry on Reggie White. Majkowski doesn't see what he wants downfield and just has to try to make something out of it. But they are the reason they're the #1 defense in the NFL. They have people up front that get heat, and they can block up man-to-man down the field with some pretty good corners in Newsome and Evans.
That is not a sack for White. It was a 2-yard gain, so it brings up 3rd and 7. Metzelar is in motion, and he'll stay in the block. Majkowski, good protection. Finds a receiver across the middle, Johnny Morton. And he has first down yardage to the Green Bay 47-yard line. Pryor on the tackle after a gain of 12.
Nice poise by Majkowski there, Tom. Sat it in the pocket. It was closing in on him, and he had the patience to find Johnny Morton. Johnny Morton's going to come all the way across, right underneath. They're going to have double coverage, but the protection's pretty solid. He's got time to step up, look, and nobody touches him. Very nicely done up front by the line.
Well, Don Majkowski had some huge games here at Lambeau Field when he was a Green Bay Packer. Mentioned a Pro Bowler in '89, play fake to Sanders and looking for the goods down the field, and he misses his intended receiver, Herman Moore. Newsome with him step for step.
Herman Moore slips on this play. And, you know, it's funny, we talked to Herman Moore, and he's been frustrated. He's been frustrated because he feels this team has not pushed the ball deep down the field as much as possible. And right off the bat, you see his first route is like a 15-yard comeback. So I would expect that. Don Majkowski's not a 3-step dink and dunk guy. He wants to push the ball vertically. And like I said, will not hesitate to get out of there if the heat comes.
2nd and 10, Sanders' 2nd carry, penalty flag down. And he is met after a short gain by Wayne Simmons. But again, penalty flags littering the playing field. Kuntz also there in on the stop of Sanders. Well, it's been a very inconsistent as it's offsides against Green Bay.
Those are the breaks. Most of the coaches for Green Bay are a little bit worried about what Majkowski might do to them today. It's one thing to have a guy come in that you haven't seen.
Offsides, number 21, defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
They got Craig Newsome as we look at Fritz Shermer here, the defensive coordinator for Green Bay. Craig Newsome in a bump and run position, lined up a little bit too close to the line. Well, you don't see that called very often, but he knows going up against Herman Moore that he's got to try to get him and get him early.
After the penalty, a 2nd and 5, Herman Moore in motion, and Sanders will get another try, trying to turn the corner outside, and could not escape a host of Green Bay tacklers. Newsome there, along with Robinson, forcing him to the outside, was Reggie White.
Isn't that amazing how this guy, looking at Barry Sanders, always makes people miss? And that's why I say get him the ball, get it to him early. They've been messing around trying to get the passing game going because defenses are using 8-man fronts on them, and they're trying to use the receivers. But people come into a game, they fear one guy first, and that's Barry Sanders.
6 defensive backs check in for Green Bay on this 3rd and 5. Moore again in motion, and Majkowski rolls left, in trouble, but he will run for the first down as he slides to the Green Bay 34-yard line.
That's something they wouldn't have with Scott Mitchell. The recognition that it wasn't there, and now go ahead and get out of there and make something happen. Sean Jones looked like he jumped off sides. I mean, no flag came. But here, Majkowski doesn't see it's good coverage downfield, knowing where the marker is. That's what he can bring that guy maybe wouldn't bring.
Well, you talked about that, and Wayne Fonts discussed it with us a great deal last night. Very impressive opening drive. 5 rushes, a couple of passes. It's another first down, and Majkowski Looking downfield for Herman Moore, and he overthrows the intended receiver into double coverage.
It looked like there was a mix-up there. Herman Moore almost stops running the route here. I don't know if he thought he was they're trying to lull Craig Newsome to sleep, but I don't know if they're on the same page on that. A lot of different formations. That's one thing that Wayne Fontes told us that would go on today. A lot of motion. They can't just stay predictable. They got to move people around. I've seen Herman Moore moved around twice now in motion situations and not just stuck on that right side.
Harriman and Morton to the top of your screen. Moore on the bottom part, and he takes a reception. And a short gain, good open field tackle there by Craig Newsome. So it'll bring up 3rd down and close to 5.
Craig Newsome knows going against Herman Moore that he's got a height disadvantage. You can see it right there. So whenever a ball is caught, he just has to make sure he secures the tackle, and that's what he does here. Herman Moore has been taken out of the games here this year by people getting in his face, bump and run. And you know where that came from? That came from the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff game last year. They went bump and run all game long, and now people have copied it.
3rd down and 4. Detroit has converted on each of its first 2 3rd down plays. And did they get this one? Perriman makes a reception. Very close to the 1st down at the 25-yard line. And it looks as though they're going to mark him just short.
Boy, what a catch by Brett Perriman. He's down. I don't know if he can roll on that ball or what.
Let's welcome this week's Oscar Mayer and Kraft Foods.
They know where the marker is. And it's just a quick 3-step drop by Makowski. He took a shot by Dotson. But the catch is really outstanding.
Well, Perriman's still down. He has not gotten up after making that reception, and it looks as though they are short of the 1st down. We'll be back to Lambeau Field in a moment.
Is brought to you by West Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By the new Lexus ES300, the road is calling. Answer it. By MasterCard. MasterCard, it's smart money. And by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
No score. Green Bay on 4th and inches on this opening drive. Barry Sanders in motion. And now Herman Moore. And it looks as though there was movement along the line of scrimmage against Green Bay.
And they got Gilbert Brown. They were never going to snap the ball. They were going to go with the hard count and see if they could pull someone off, and they did it. Whoa.
Well, wait a minute. They're saying that Brown was drawn off sides by Glover.
Head bob, offense,
Head
number
bob.
1, 5 yards, 4th down.
And if I'm Wayne, I'm mad too.
Well, let's watch and listen in on the snap count.
I'm sorry. That is really chintzy there. 9 times out of 10, that is not going to get called. It has to be flagrant. Now they're going to line up and kick it. And if I'm Wayne, like I said, I am very upset about that one.
Mark Royals to hold for Jason Hanson. And it is good from 47 yards away. So the Detroit Lions take the opening kickoff, march down the field. A penalty may have cost them keeping the drive alive, but they walk away with a 3-0 lead. Fun still about the call against his quarterback, Don Makowski, on what was going to be a 4th and inches to keep the drive alive. Brett Perriman, meanwhile, still running, has not gotten up, and that has to be a great concern right now as it's 3-0 Detroit. Hanson spins it away, and Desmond Howard will take it 2 yards deep in the end zone and bring it out. Howard crosses at 20. He was a step away from breaking that one, perhaps all the way to the end zone. So now it'll be Brett Favre, the 27-year-old Kill, Mississippi native. Number 1 in the NFL in touchdown passes this season. 21 of those, but the big concern for Brett Favre in the last 2 games, San Francisco and then last week against Tampa Bay, only 1 touchdown pass.
It's going to be interesting to see how Green Bay jump starts this offense today. everybody knows about what's going on the perimeter with Brooks being out and now Antonio Freeman. How will they get things rolling?
Well, Terry Mickens has been activated for the first time all season. Number 85 will watch him. Claude scrambling out of trouble and caught from behind by Kerwin Waldrop, who is starting in place of the injured Tracy Scroggins. So Favre, who is 4th in the NFC in passing yards, number 1, as we mentioned, in touchdown passes in the entire NFL. Michaels gets his 2nd straight start. We'll look for Ken Rutgers a little bit later on today. In the backfield, it will be Edgar Bennett, William Henderson. The receiving core of Mickens and Beebe. We'll see Anthony Morgan later. Mark Chmura is the tight end. Beebe in motion on a 2nd and 9. Bennett trying to slip to the outside, cuts back in and crosses the 30 to the 31, where he's met by Greg Jeffries. Defensively, the number 18th ranked unit in the NFL, Waldrop in place of Scroggins, and Luther Ellis trying to get healthy after an injured knee early in the season. London and Brown on the outside, Pepper Johnson in the middle, and a secondary, Jeffries starting in place of Corey Raymond. Ron Rice starts in place of the injured Van Malone at free safety. Malone's got a bung of ankle. 3rd and 5, Dorsey Levens alone setback. Favre, good protection, drops it off to Mickens across the middle, and he leans to the 37 for a first down. Jeffries couldn't hold him back from getting there.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Jeffries is one of the guys they want to work on. He's coming in replacing Corey Raymond at that corner position. Done a good job, but when there's new meat in the game, you go after that new meat. And this is good awareness by Mickens. He knows where the first down marker is, and a nice job by Jeffries trying to keep him from crossing that line. Good extension there. He's getting back now fresh off that ankle sprain that's hobbled him pretty much all year so far.
Well, that is the first catch of the season for Mickens. Demura and Jackson into the game, and this is Keith Jackson still on his feet. Close to another first down out to the 47. Benny Blades in on the tackle. Well, while we have a moment, let's send it back to our Fox Television Center in Hollywood and our main man, James Brown.
Tom, take a look at this run by Herschel Walker, now 4th all-time in total yards in NFL history, thanks to this 86-yard opening kickoff return that set up a 1-yard score by Emmitt Smith. Dallas on top by a touch. TB and Ron Pitts.
Ronnie, what a big year he's having.
Yeah, I think Dallas has just woken up right now. Okay, and it's time for them to play. Their season has started as of last week, and they are going to be hard to play against from here on in. Green Bay's got to go down there
in a couple of weeks.
2 weeks, too. And they're going to catch them in rare form, I'm afraid.
It was good enough for a first down on the reception of Mickens. This is Dorsey Levens trying to break it to the outside, stays on his feet and picks up close to 7, shoved out of bounds by Ryan McNeil. This is a man you thought has to get a little more involved in the offense.
Yeah, he does. You know, if you look at Dorsey Levens, he runs with the same kind of quickness and agility that Edgar Bennett does, but he's a little bit bigger, and he catches well out of the backfield. He's a guy I think is going to be involved more, and that's one thing that Mike Holmgren has to do now with what's going on in the perimeters. He's got to get his people involved. Everybody, you got to use all your weapons. Perriman had the wind knocked out of him, but he looks like more than the wind is bothering him.
Well, that's a report they've given us. He will return, but it certainly didn't look good. 2nd and 2, and Favre back to throw. And has a chance. Nearly intercepted. Should have been intercepted by Ron Rice.
And look at Ron Rice pointing to the sun. Ron, I don't know, man. That's... oh, he had a perfect break on it. I'm not sure where Favre is throwing the ball. Ron Rice is standing in the post. Look at that. Oh. Maybe the sun did catch him. I don't know. We have to give him the benefit of the doubt. There's Ron Rice right there. I mean, perfect beat on the ball. He should have gone up and chest caught the ball. That's why you chest catch the ball. It's a much more safer catch when you have things like the sun in your eyes.
You had a few of those in your day.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have hands. I had to chest catch it.
3rd down and 2 for Green Bay, trying to keep their opening possession alive, and they will on the completion to Bennett. He is pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Coverage by Reggie Brown.
Yeah, that's huge. Missing that interception now. Green Bay comes back. A completion to Bennett gets a first down. These are the type of things that Brett Favre can do to you. You can't let him off the hook.
The guy has such a remarkable touch on the ball.
He does.
Edgar Bennett.
Yeah, and he's a strong thrower. You know, when he first came into the league, people wanted to criticize him. They said he couldn't throw strong. He didn't have a strong arm. Well, he does have a strong arm, and he's very accurate, especially on the run.
Favre's 5th pass of the game, screen to Bennett, and he tried to slip in between a pair of tacklers, but a good play made by Henry Thomas to slow Bennett down. And Aaron Taylor leading the way when he comes a call, and you know he's there.
Yeah, and they're going against a defense that, in all respects, has been butchered. They have not been healthy, especially on their right side. They've had trouble at the linebacking position, as we look at Jim Eddy right there, the defensive coordinator. They've had trouble at the linebacking position all year long. Really haven't started the same set of guys since way back at the beginning of the year. Scroggins, he's out again. Reggie Brown, been on and off, injuries. That's a personal problem. Stephen Boyd. And then you lose Luther Ellis, the big one, as a starter.
2nd and 3, and Levens will come up shy of the first down. Ran into Thomas and Porsche along with Ellis.
It's amazing, though, how Wayne Fonts always finds himself in the same old position around this time every year. In fact, some people at the Lions will say, hey, you know, we're even right now. It's better than being 2-5 in that situation.
He's like a Dalmatian on a fire truck. He's made this ride before.
But I don't know about this time. I don't know how much longer the guys will believe that, hey, we're back against the wall speech, let's go. You know, after a while, that gets kind of sour.
3rd and 3, Chmura in motion. Play fake to Bennett, and they drop it off to Henderson. First down inside the 25-yard line. Blades able to stop Henderson, but not before he has another Packer first down.
You know, Tom, that's classic West Coast offense here. They had 5 guys in the route. Now, I want you to watch what everybody does, especially the backs, and watch the way people are going in every which direction. This is hard for a defense to catch. He fakes to both backs, and then he gets both backs out in the route. That's very hard to defend, and that's what makes this offense work. It's all predicated on timing, delivery, and poise from your quarterback.
11th play of the drive. Quick strike to Don Beebe. Cuts it back to the inside, and he's close to another first down. And again, Benny Blades having to make the tackle.
Do you think that Don Beebe can run? Look at the cushion that Ryan McNeil gives him. Hey, you're not going to get on the highlights across the nation at night with those little catches. But you get toward the red area, I would expect Jim Eddy to get his people up in a bump position, get them in playing close. And that's another long drive, another perfect drive by Green Bay so far. And unlike most teams, they get really good down toward the end zone, putting the ball in.
2nd and 1, penalty flags on the field as Henderson gets the football. He'll be very close to a first down, but we'll see. Well, if there is any concern about this Packer offense coming in the game today, you never know it by this opening drive. Offsides against Detroit, that will be an automatic first down.
Well, Detroit no doubt has helped themselves by, number 1, going down the field. They get a suspect call.
Offsides, number 93, defense, 5-yard penalty. That's a first down.
They get a suspect call, but they at least get 3 points, Tom, and take time off the clock, okay? It's 1:47 to go. Green Bay still on their first drive. That's how you want to play them. I got to go back to that dropped interception, though, by Ron Rice. To me, that's huge because that's a chance to not only get the ball, but to keep Green Bay off the field and go back down the field.
So Levens alone setback on 1st and goal from a 9. Boyd will be caught from behind by Antonio London, and that's a sack. And for Antonio London, that's his 3rd of the season.
Antonio London, a bona fide playmaker, a guy coming out of college who people complained he rushed too much and couldn't play on the run. Now there he is right there, 55. He's just going to whiff on John Michaels, the starting left tackle, and run Favre down. Favre had aborted the play. He was going to go ahead and try to run it in.
Take a look at that.
Ooh. And you know the best part about that? Right there. They don't turn it over. They don't make the mistakes down by the goal line.
4 wide receivers check into the game. And you got to look at big John Michaels, the left tackle. This is Dorsey Levens. And again, penalty flags come down. Levens able to sliver his way inside the 10-yard line.
When you see that flag thrown right at an offensive lineman down inside like that, that usually means a penalty, a hold.
Well, you saw Mike Holmgren in his reaction. You just wonder, is Sherman Lewis about to take over calling the plays?
Holding, number 52. Offense, 10 yards. Still second down.
That's Frank Winters, the center.
Well, I'll tell you, the center's job around the league is to hold, okay? If he can't hold coming out of college, then he can't play in this league. It's just a matter of whether or not they see him. And Frank Winters, I mean, he's a brawling type guy. He will get after it with you all day long. And he's got to be today going against a guy like Hank Thomas. And I look down there and I see Luther Ellis finally in the game.
So Mark Chmura will see what he can do about getting this Green Bay offense going the other way. 2nd and goal from the 22-yard line after the penalty. Favre, a bullet across the middle and caught at the 1-yard line by BB, and boy, did he take a shot from Ron Rice. 21-yard gain as BB has not gotten up.
And Holmgren, once again, has to hold his breath because another wideout is down. A good drag route by BB, and you talk about the delivery. Favre makes a shot there. A little slip down by Stewart. A good hit by Ron Rice. Ron Rice is probably a guy that should play a lot more. Oh, I mean, the complaint last week was that Melvin Johnson from Tampa Bay did not go for the ball. Well, I don't know what Mike Holmes is going to say this week.
Clean hit.
That's a clean hit. And he smooth lays him out. But great catch by Don Beebe. He holds on to the rock by the goal line when they need it.
3rd and goal from the 1 when we come back. After that violent collision a moment ago, delivered by Ron Rice, able to jump to his feet. And you hear the reaction from the Packer faithful. They know they can't lose another wide receiver. 3rd and goal inside the 1. Henderson and Levens in the backfield. And Favre to throw. A touchdown, Green Bay, Dorsey Levens.
And here they go. They decide to switch it up this time and give equal time to the other end zone. Like a political ad. Got to give equal time to both end zones.
And Brett Favre, his 22nd touchdown pass of the season. He used 6 different receivers, hitting 8 of 9 on the opening drive.
There it is. That is called maximizing your artillery. Pull out the weapons and use everybody. That's what a West Coast offense affords you.
Jackie, the extra point out of the hold of Henrik. And he nails it through. A 14-play, 74-yard drive that chews up 9 minutes. And Favre on the final play of the quarter delivers a touchdown to Levens, giving Green Bay a 7-3 lead. It away as we open the 2nd quarter, and this is Glenn Milburn from his 15-yard line, breaks a couple of tackles, ran into his own man, and was able to stay on his feet out to the 32-yard line, tackled there by Ron Cox. 7-3, Green Bay leads. Back to Lambeau in a moment. With Ron Pitts, Tom Brenneman back at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Impressive opening quarter, opening drive for each team, a 7-3 Packer lead. But before the game here today, now your dad, the legendary Elijah Pitts, played for the legendary Vince Lombardi. And take a look at this before the game today.
Yeah, look at this, the unveiling of the new stamp. Boy, that's something else.
Daughter Susan, part of the pre-game festivities.
He made a lot happen here.
I should say he did. So the 2nd drive of the game for the Detroit offense. Don Majkowski, very impressive when they first had the football, and a huge hole for Sanders. Couple of men to beat, and still on his feet, cuts it back to the inside, and he's all the way to the 35-yard line. Leroy Butler on the tackle after a 37-yard gain.
There it is. Barry early very often, and you know what? He's going to get a few here, then he's going to break one right here. Watch this hole open up. Nice job there by Compton, and an overscrape by Wayne Simmons, the linebacker. That makes it happen. And it's never over until you get this man on the ground. This is what they need. Look what this does to field position. Doug Evans misses a tackle there. Metzlar is a pretty nice block.
Sanders again. How did he avoid a couple of Green Bay tacklers there? He's to the 30.
Look, did you see what he did to Gilbert Brown? As big as Gilbert Brown is, all 325 pounds of him, he just made him look completely silly.
Well, Barry Sanders, who has not rushed, as Ronnie pointed out earlier, for 100 yards in the game since week 2. Second longest route of his career. 4 carries today, 50 yards. Metzelaars in motion on a 2nd and 5. Sanders his 3rd straight carry, and he has another first down to the 23. Mike Pryor on the stop.
Now, let me ask you something. What do you think the problem has been with the Lions in the last 6 weeks? Has it been the passing game?
So you're saying you like this guy a little bit?
He's okay. I can live with this guy. You know, something about this little guy kind of grows on you. You know what I mean?
You can't see him behind the mountain.
Hey, the fact that they have come out and tried to pass the ball plays right into the hands of opposing defenses. The defenses worry about one man when you play the Detroit Lions, and that's number 20, Barry Sanders.
Brett Perriman back in the game on a 1st and 10. It's Barry Sanders again, and again a huge hole down to the 15-yard line. Eugene Robinson able to trip him up.
And see, look what it does to field position. And Barry, something happened to Barry there. This is going to be a cutback play. They're going to start it off to the right side and then cut back. It makes nice yardage on it, but it looked as though Barry hurt something on the way down. He got hit right on the back, and you see he's mad about it too. It looks like that face mask from Eugene Robinson got him right on the small of the back.
Ron Rivers has checked in the game for Barry Sanders, and he'll get the carry. And he appears to have close to first down yardage. Needed to get to the 13-yard line. Gilbert Brown on the stop, and here comes Mr. Sanders. Bear in mind, over the last 6 weeks, there have been 41 100-yard rushing games. Barry Sanders, one of the greatest backs in the history of the NFL, none.
And you look at what he averages per carry. He's 4.4 yards per carry. All right, last year this time he was 4.9, and everybody's complaining and crying about it. But do you know what 4.4 does to you on 3rd down situation? You're looking at 3rd and short every single time. Anytime you can average over 3.5, you are doing something really good running the ball.
Well, the carry by Rivers is good enough for a first down.
And see, look what's happened to field position now. One big run, they're over the 50, they're down here inside the 20, and now they just keep handing it off.
Got to give the Lions a lot of credit offensively, minus their starting quarterback. Trips to the left on a 1st and 10 at the 13. Metzelaars in motion. They play fake to Sanders. Good protection. Throw to the end zone. It's broken up by Robinson.
Boy, I thought Eugene Robinson had his hands on that ball. There's a guy that catches 200 balls a day out of a jugs machine in practice. They come with the play action. Going to fake it to that man, which is a pretty good idea with the runs he's had. I thought Don let this ball go in the midst of traffic. He doesn't have a lot there.
Second down and 10 from the 13. Boy, the delay handoff to Sanders. Penalty flags down, and they will blow the play dead.
They had movement on the left side of the offensive line. I don't know whether it was Metzelaars or Roberts or Compton. Somewhere on that side, somebody moved. And, you know, I thought that was a good job by the officials in, Tom, of making sure to blow the play dead. The play does not count. Make sure everybody hears it.
False start. Number 72, offense. Moving prior to the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's big Ray Roberts right there. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Ooh.
That's tough. That's hard to call. His hand might have come up a touch early.
That just looked like a basketball player, that great first step, and they call you for traveling because nobody else can do it. 2nd and 15 after the penalty. And the ball backed up to the 18-yard line. Morton in motion, Mikowski to throw, looking Morton's way through the hands, penalty flag down on the far side of the field.
Looked like Kuntz came inside on the blitz and might have got across the line early. Other side.
Legal procedure, it'll be against Detroit, and it looks as though Kuntz is thinking about declining the penalty.
Number 87, offense. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Johnny Morton. Okay, now he's right here. What he does, he starts creeping toward the line. That's called drifting. Right there, see? And that's a good call. That's a mental error. He knows he can't do that.
3rd and 15. And you see what they've done from 11 yards or longer on the 3rd down. They're going to hand it off to Barry Sanders. Cuts back. Avoids one. What on his feet? He's going to the end zone. Can you believe that?
He made something out of absolutely nothing. And then people want to know what's wrong with the Detroit Lions. Nothing. You didn't give the ball to Barry Sanders enough early in the game.
Unbelievable.
You don't call it blocking because he's got to avoid a guy before he even gets across the line of scrimmage. Eugene Robinson, is he strong? Yeah. He runs away from people.
Boy, a play looks like it's dead. Next thing you know, he's flipping the ball to the official for a touchdown. Hansen on for the extra point, and it is good. So, for a 2nd straight, wait a minute, penalty flag down on the field on the point after touchdown, but that gives us a second to show you the magical run by Barry Sanders, which is given.
And you know what he showed me? I have to interrupt. You know what he showed me there? He showed me strength, because Eugene Robinson had a lock on him, and he shivered him away with a forearm.
Well, apparently the penalty will be against. We'll hear from Tom White.
Offsides on the extra point. Number 42, defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. The extra point is good. Timeout.
Corey Dowden whistled for the infraction, but Sanders has given Detroit a 10-7 lead.
The way we call collect today.
Barry Sanders, a touchdown run, has given Detroit a 10-7 lead. Jason Hansen kicks it away, and Desmond Howard sent 5 yards deep into the end zone will take a knee. Let's again go back to the run by Barry Sanders.
Watch the block here. Zephyrus Moss on Reggie White, and then Compton right there. Another nice kick-out block on Simmons. But after that, it's all Barry. And that's the move that amazes me. You know, nobody looks at Barry as being strong, but he just took on Eugene Robinson with a forearm and pushed him away. 14.2-yard average. That is unbelievable.
Well, while we were away, Earl Dotson, who did not start last week after injuring his ankle against San Francisco, he is now replaced at right tackle by Bruce Wilkerson, who got the start last week against Tampa Bay. Edgar Bennett, the lone setback. Chimura wide open. He has a first down all the way to the 34-yard line. He just went ramming head-to-head with Reggie Bound and Greg Jeffries.
There's the 2 tight ends. Chimura, most of the time when Chimura's in the game along with Jackson, Jackson gets the ball. And Mike Holmgren told us the other day, we need to start switching up some things, showing people things we haven't shown them in a while. I think that's one of them. Going to Chimura when 2 tight ends are in the game.
Well, Chimura out for the time being, and see the total yards. Detroit, they've had the ball one more possession in Green Bay. Jackson in for Chimura, and here comes Favre looking down the field for Don Beebe, and nearly intercepted by Ryan McNeil, and Beebe is down again. He took a heavy hit from Benny Blades, who was going for the football along with McNeil.
Now this is scary. Beebe is down definitely. and Benny Blades. It's an inside-out coverage. McNeil has help inside from here, and that's where Benny Blades is going to come. The ball's underthrown. Well, I mean, he just put it on him.
Well, Ronnie, remember the game we had last year? I don't think I've ever seen, or 2 years ago, a human being hit harder than Don Beebe was in the end zone a game in Buffalo.
Yeah, Don Beebe took some shots. And I'll tell you, I don't know, this may be, oh, that's just a shot. That is just a shot. They can't keep a wide out healthy. This is Brooks. He went down first. Then Antonio Freeman came. And this makes my point, and I'm sure I'll ruffle some feathers on this. When Brooksy went down the first time, why don't you go out and sign Anthony Morgan, give him what he wants, to give yourself some insurance? Yeah, they had Freeman at the time, but hey, you got a legitimate shot to go to the show this year, like everybody says. Why not protect yourself? If you did that, he would have been 3 weeks in now and would have been able to play more and more into the game. It could be a factor, especially losing him. And now they got to wait for people to come along.
Well, Beebe is still down as the Packers medical staff takes a look at him. Very scary situation a couple of times already for Beebe, now being helped up. We'll check in on him when we return.
They're looking at Don Beebe. Now here's the hit again on Don Beebe. Blades right there over the top. Now he just comes in all shoulder. That's a legit hit. And Benny takes as much of that.
Blades, like Beebe, appears to be all right, although he has stepped down and Ryan Stewart is taken over. And down goes Favre back at the 28-yard line, and now a late flag comes in on the play. Luther Ellis, who did not have a sack all of his rookie year of 95. He has 2 coming into the game today this season, and now he has his 3rd. See what that penalty flag's all about, however.
Well, that's a guy, Luther Ellis, that this defense has really missed, going side by side with Hank Thomas. Personal foul, looks like. He's pulling it back. Face mask. Hank Thomas is giving the face mask sign.
And that's what it is, the face mask.
Well, they said that coming into this game, they wanted to make sure they kept Brett Favre in the pocket. He's most dangerous throwing on the run. He's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL throwing on the run.
Face mask, number 94, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, and by rule, the ball must get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
There's Luther Ellis right there. Now, he's going to get some pressure inside, working on Aaron Taylor. Just drives him back into the quarter. That's weak. If that's what they called for the face mask, that is weak. Favre is on his way down. And Taylor is just backed up into his living room there.
Not good.
And you know what's interesting about that? If a guy running the ball stiff arms and puts his hand on the defensive player's face mask, they won't call it. But they called that.
2nd and 10, and a quick throw to Terry Mickens, but it was thrown behind him. So it'll bring up 3rd down. Good coverage by Jeffries. And right now for our McDonald's game break, let's go to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Tom, how long do you think Jerome Bettis has been waiting to do this to his former team? 106 yards on the day already in the first half. 50 here on his 2nd touchdown run of the day. He did fumble, but St. Louis is trailing 14-3 to Bettis and the Steelers. Back to Tom and Ron.
What is Bettis eating? I mean, he is going crazy up there. Porsche, he's not going crazy at all. He's going out.
Keith Washington has checked in for Porsche. 3rd down and 10. Packers 4 of 4 on 3rd down conversions, and Favre wants it all. This will draw a flag. Desmond Howard, the intended receiver, and McNeil ran him over.
Yeah, Desmond Howard showed good speed there, and he got McNeil in a position where right here you can see now that's Borgella there. Not McNeil. Borgella just ran up the back. He got Borgella in a position where he was beat and had to catch him, had to do something.
Defense, that is a 1st down.
That's not McNeil, that's Borgella.
Jocelyn Borgella, 3rd-year pro out of Cincinnati. That is a 41-yard penalty.
I looked at John Ponce there, the defensive back coach. Of course, the brother of head coach Wayne Ponce.
Don Beebe back into the game, and this is Edgar Bennett trying to stretch it to the outside and just simply know where to go. Stewart there to force him out of bounds.
So far this game, big plays have meant the difference in each team crossing over the 50. You know, you saw the run with Barry Sanders. Beebe now back in the game. Right here, the play to Desmond Howard. And I'm surprised Don Beebe back in the game after that hit. Benny Blades is not even in the game, and I know Benny's about as tough as they come. I'm not so sure that Beebe's got all the marbles in order.
Maybe not. Second down and 8. Ball at the 24-yard line. Favre back to throw. They're coming after him. Lofts it toward the end zone and Beebe, and it's overthrown.
That's something you haven't seen a lot of lately. People hitting Favre after the throw, getting him on the ground. Pepper Johnson right there. He comes on the outside. That's Keith Washington. He loops inside and makes the hit.
Well, Washington is in there because of the injury a moment ago to Robert Porcher. So a third down and 8. 9:19 to play here in the second quarter, and Detroit leads 10-7. Porcher is checked back in, and a screen dropped off to Dorsey Levin, and he has a first down at the 12-yard line.
Here's Dorsey Levin. This is the guy we talked about getting more involved in the game on the perimeter. This is what they have to do. You know, they don't have the knockout punch like they used to on the perimeter. It's got to come inside now. The game's got to be inside with the tight ends and the backs.
Well, you see what the Green Bay offense has done inside the red zone this season, and they're looking to add to those numbers. First and 10 from the 13. Levin takes a handoff, tries to get to the outside, and he's close to the 5-yard line.
That's what surprises me about Dorsey Levin. He's a little bit faster than people think he is. Here's a guy that goes 235. You know, he just outran 2 lines around the corner.
Well, he gained 9. Levin's originally a member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and said goodbye, transferred to Georgia Tech. And he was a 5th-round draft choice 2 seasons ago, and a solid selection he has been. 2 tight ends check in, Chamura and Jackson on a 2nd and 1. Bennett to the 1, and he has a first down. It'll bring up 1st and goal, Green Bay. We have had a grand total, Ronnie, of 4 possessions in this game. Detroit goes down the field. Field goal. Green Bay down the field, touchdown. Detroit down the field, touchdown. And now Green Bay looking for another.
Detroit has played this game about as well as they can play it thus far. I mean, that's what you call game plan. That's what you call using Barry Sanders and keeping Favre off the field. The big pass interference is causing this.
Favre looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Terry Mickens, the first touchdown of his NFL career. And he's going to go in and celebrate a while.
Look at this. Look at this guy's hat. What is that? How do we get one of those? That's amazing. You got 2 guys with that hat.
Boy, Terry Mickens has to. Well, there are those hats.
Is that a bratwurst coming out of the side there?
Looks like a burger.
Oh, man.
And you have to have a little cheese on that.
You got to have a little cheese. Here, anyway.
There's a lot of cheese in his boot. Here's a point after, and it is good by Chris Jackie. So it's 7:46 to go until halftime. We got a good one going. 14-10 Green Bay. And our Aflac trivia question. who held Barry Sanders to his lowest output of his career, and how many yards did he have? Think about that. Well, Detroit will get the football back with 7:46 to play here in the second quarter. Green Bay in front 14-10 as Terry Mickens catches the first touchdown pass of his career. Hendrick kicks it away. Short kick fielded by Milburn at the 10. And he brings it out to the 29-yard line. And let's go back to the touchdown a moment ago.
Teams have a hard time with the back part of the field. Now, there's Mickens right there. I just circled him. The play action's okay, but watch the Lion defenders. Nobody's in the back part of the end zone. Look at this. There's nobody in that area. If Favre wants to prove he's an MVP this year, he can do it very easily from here on in by making this team go on offense without the personnel they had in the beginning of the year.
Well, he has 2 touchdown passes here today. Detroit very impressive on its first 2 drives, and here's a big reason why. Barry Sanders, who is closing in on 100 yards already, crossing the 35-yard line. 8 carries now for Sanders and 90 yards. And on the second drive, it went 68 yards. Sanders had almost every one of them.
Yeah, and the key thing here is this right there. They're getting points. They're making things happen. They're not going down there and shooting blanks and then coming off the field with goose egg. They're getting things done. And that guy is going to be cool and calm and for the most part in the pocket. Not him.
Gain of 7. Sanders will get it again on the 2nd and 3. And Gilbert Brown stuffed him shy of the line of scrimmage. Well, we know Ronnie Pitts is a believer in reincarnation. Are you? Tonight on the X-Files. Agent Mulder uncovers a past life that'll change his future forever. Don't miss an all-new chilling episode of the X-Files. 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox.
I believe
back to watch that.
I believe in the reincarnation of Barry Sanders and the Lions offense.
3rd and 3. Morton in motion and Mikowski to throw it. In trouble. Down he goes. Santana Dotson.
They got a flag down.
Yeah, and a flag down on the far side of the field at the 40-yard line.
That was a big-time WWF body slam.
And in years past, you'll see that flag. Picking a guy up and
I mean, he
dropping it
just
like
picked
that.
him up. Oh, they got a hold. That looks out on the perimeter.
And that's an automatic first down to keep the drive alive.
This is the sack here. Dotson, and this reminds me of
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon getting slammed
by Tim Harris.
Holding.
Wow.
Number 59. Defense. 5 yards. First down.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's Wayne Simmons. Now you're thinking of Charlie Martin, not Tim Harris.
Right.
See, those are huge penalties for Green Bay. Come finally get pressure, do a pretty good job of getting to the quarterback, and now they have the hold.
(14-10) with 6:10 to go here in the second quarter. That's the Larson motion, short drop, and he was the intended receiver, but it was thrown a little too low. I got to apologize to Tim Harris. Drew a blank there a minute. He was too good a player to do something like that to somebody.
That's funny. I talked to Don about coming back here, and he said, you know, I'm more comfortable coming back here playing than I am going a lot of other places, just because of all the good times. Remember, he talked to us about that '89 season. That was the year we went 10-6, and he had the big game against Chicago here. It's got to scare you when a guy like this comes into play. You're not sure what he's going to do.
Sanders just spins away from Wayne Simmons, still on his feet, and just has to step out of bounds at the 39. He had about 5 guys around him. Well, told you the Green Bay Packers held Barry Sanders to the lowest output of his career. And the answer about that, how many yards he had, grand total of -1 on 13 carries the last day of 1994. But a little different story here today for Barry Sanders.
And another thing that helps Green Bay, or helps Detroit, they got 3 wideouts in the field. It's hard to bring up an 8-man front when you got to cover that third wide receiver.
Big play here with 5:30 to go in the second quarter. A 3rd and 12. And Majkowski steps up, guns it over the middle. Catch made by Herman Moore, and he appears to have the first down at the 49. He was able to slip between Robinson and Newsome and appears to have the first down as Moore is slow to get up.
Yeah, Herman looked like he's a little slow there. Nice step up by Majkowski and a nice fire down the middle of the field. And they're doing a pretty good job on Reggie White because he has not been a factor. Look at the cushion. They're playing a double coverage, and see, he pushed Eugene Robinson just enough up the field to turn his hips and then came back inside. Well, Don Majkowski is going to show poise. He's not going to get rattled. Right there, he got the shot on his head. You see that? Right on the top of the head.
And Moore, as you see, has still not gotten up.
In boxing, they call that a shot on the button. That'll put you down.
Shot on the button. Reggie White, as Ronnie pointed out, a quiet game for the NFL's all-time sacks leader. He only has 1 tackle, and it's really not presented a whole lot of trouble for Don Majkowski.
There's been so much talked about type of hits and crown of the helmet hits and all that. Well, actually, Newsome's pad gets him right there. Herman, you sure you're okay?
Aubrey Matthews has checked into the game, and it was good enough for a first down. Penalty flags on the field. Barry Sanders,
better get him,
is still on his feet, tiptoes his way along the sideline, and he has a first down to the 38-yard line.
Look at Favre.
Gain.
Look at Brett Favre patting Barry on the head. Well, you know that's respect. When an MVP comes over on the sidelines and pats you on the head and says, good job, you know you're doing something good.
Well, another penalty will go against the Packers.
That's Sean Jones.
Offsides. Number 96 jumped into the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. First down.
I thought he was an inch from breaking this thing. I thought Green Bay relaxed when he got on the sideline, but look at this. He's so close to taking that one again. And then he gets stopped by the MVP.
11 carries, 99 yards for Barry Sanders, and Herman Moore is still on the Detroit sideline. Sanders will get it again, and again has a hole, and close to 8 more yards for Barry Sanders. Stop made by Brian Williams at the 30-yard line.
Did you see the block by the rookie Jeff Harding, 64? Here he is right there, 64. He comes up and gets a linebacker and pushes him all the way. He's not even in the frame. Reggie there tries to come up right here. He's going to come up and get George Kuntz and push him all the way back into the secondary. That's what you call taking a guy right out of the play.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3, as Sanders is now rushed for 106 yards. He'll lose a few there. And then he has a few words for Wayne Simmons and gives him a little forearm shot.
That's unusual because you don't see Barry do that very often, but he's done that more and more this year, I think. He got in a jawing contest with somebody a few weeks back, and that's unlike him. You talk about a very unselfish guy. This whole time people have been talking about what's wrong and his yards and all that. He said, hey, I'm only worried about one thing. Do we win? That's what the biggest problem is, not my yards per carry average.
3rd and 4, Herman Moore back into the game. Flags down, and they're going to whistle the play dead. Tom White.
That looks like Gilbert Brown having a problem getting up.
False start. Number 87 moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty.
That is the
3rd down.
second time that Johnny Morton has been whistled for a false start. His head clearly not in the game early on.
Now Morton's right there. He's stationary. See, he does that little bend takeoff. I don't know if you can say it's because of the cadence difference from Mitchell. Nobody else has a problem jumping outside in the receiving corps.
Or along the line, for that matter. 3rd and 9 after the 5-yard penalty. Mikowski right through the hands of Herman Moore. And it would have been good enough for a first down. Well,
you know, is the sun bad on that side? Because it looked as though Herman, number one, didn't expect the ball that fast. So that's a good look at it. And we saw Ron Rice drop the interception and point it right to the sun. And Herman looking back at the sun there.
Well, you know, Ronnie, on a ball very high end of the year with a lot of arc,
right?
I can understand that. That ball didn't get more than 4 feet off the ground to Herman Moore. So this is going to be a long field goal try of 55 yards by Mark Royal.
What's the fake?
And they're going to pooch kick it. That will run and go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, down to the 13. So Wayne Fogg's not going to take the chance of having Green Bay add to its lead with 2:40 to provide aerial television coverage. And here on Fox, the Eagle has covered both baseball and football since its first flight back in August. I have a strange feeling that you could probably get a Colt Miller in Lambeau Field somewhere here today.
But don't try to get one after 10 o'clock tonight, especially if they win.
Nobody will be alive by then around here. First down, and Favre coming out throwing, and wants a bundle for Don Beebe, and it's thrown out of bounds. Great coverage here by Ryan McNeil.
Favre has taken more hits today than he's taken in quite a while, at least this year. That's legal. That's at one step after. And then we got to go back to the guy we saw at the beginning of the game in the tease there, John Tierling, defensive line coach. He loves to get after people. He loves to get quarterbacks out of the game.
2nd and 10, 2:37 to play in the second quarter. And Green Bay with all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Victor Bennett in motion. Short drop, throw to Mickens on the far side. He's shy of the first down to the 21-yard line.
I think Detroit has done what they have to do this game so far. That's put Barry in it early. Hopefully you'll get some big plays out of it, which they have. And now you hold on to the ball and keep this offense off the field. This is a good example of what we're talking about here. I mean, they're running the football. That's plain and simple.
Well, Brett Favre is going to allow the clock to run down to the 2-minute warning. This is a big play. When we return a 3rd down, if Detroit can hold, they'll get the ball back, and 3 timeouts remaining. Green Bay with inside of 2 minutes. That's in 8 games this season, Ronnie. 5 touchdowns in the final couple of minutes, 1 field goal.
And you saw Don Beebe there. Pepper Burris, the trainer, came out and talked to him on the field. I still say Beebe cannot be 100% right now. You don't take a shot like that and still retain all your marbles.
Well, it's a 3rd down and 2. Green Bay 5 of 5 on 3rd down conversions in the game. Favre in trouble, lost it down the sideline. This may be intercepted.
That's offensive interference.
Yep, against Don Beebe. And the flag comes down. Brad Ford, the rookie out of Alabama, looked to have a bead on the ball.
That's the same play they ran against the 49ers. It was an out and up. See, Beebe right there came out, now he's going up. And that's Brad Ford. See, there is no way that Don Beebe is 100% healthy right now.
I think, Ronnie, what happened was he ran out of bounds there, and that might be what the penalty flag is.
That might be. He pushes right there. But going out, he cannot be the first guy to come in and catch the ball.
Pass interference, number 82.
Yeah, they got him for pass interference.
That penalty is declined. 4th down.
They could have got him twice.
Yeah. Now, if you're Mike Holmgren, boy, things are getting tough now. What do? You got Don Beebe, but is he healthy? Do you want to take a chance on keeping him in, hurting him maybe?
Hendrick back to punt for the first time today, and Detroit should get good field position. Very short kick, end over end. Milburn a fair catch at the 44-yard line. Only a 36-yard punt. And Detroit in prime time position with 1:46 left and all 3 of their timeouts remaining.
You make a good point there, Tom. That 3rd down play, that was huge for them. They're usually pretty good. Here's the gunner. That's Roderick Mullen. Now see, that's illegal. He's got to try to get back in bounds. He can't run all the way down the field out of bounds. They made that rule because guys, when they got plastered out of bounds, they just keep running down by the heaters until they came on.
Looks like a good idea to me. Well, Mikowski takes over the Lions offense at their own 43-yard line. Penalty flags again down. Boy, Wayne Fontes is going to look back on this first half. His team might be leading. They might be trailing by 4, but they have made some terrible mistakes. Dropped interception by Ron Rice at one end. This is their 6th penalty.
Start. Number 72 offense moving prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Ray Roberts again. That first one was questionable, but I don't know. That one they got him.
Dockers Khakis halftime report coming up. J.B. Terry, scores and highlights from Week 10. Also, Fox NFL Sunday's Choice Cuts is back. All that and more on the Dockers Khaki halftime report. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15. Barry Sanders escapes trouble, but he can't dodge it entirely as Eugene Robinson came racing up to make the tackle. And he did get out of bounds, stopping the clock. 1:38 to go.
Look at that. Missed tackles, broken tackles. The thing where he makes you look stupid are the missed tackles, because that's when you don't even touch him. You had a chance to touch him, but you didn't get to him. That's the ones that make you look like you never played football and have been drinking all night long.
2nd down and 15. Harriman in motion. Play fake to Sanders. Flag down. Herman Moore the reception at the 49-yard line, and Newsome shoved him out of bounds.
See, that one's in the Packer secondary.
An 11-yard gain on a 2nd and 15. And again, our referee is Tom White, a busy man, holding against Green Bay.
Boy. This is very uncharacteristic of Green Bay, especially on defense. I mean, they have been dominating everybody. Fritz Shurmur there, defensive coordinator. And now today we've seen a series of holding calls. We saw one on Newsome earlier, and then the big one on Simmons.
Holding.
Big march on.
Number 59, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Wayne Simmons again, the outside linebacker. He's right there. Oh, you know, it's one thing to get a block on a guy or stop him at the line. He just tosses Johnny Morton.
And, you know, as blatant as that is, I'm surprised that's not a 15-yard penalty. They only call it 5. It's an automatic first down at the 44-yard line. Metzelar's in motion. And down goes Mikowski in the arms of Santana Dotson.
Santana Dotson coming up from Tampa Bay. He's the guy that they needed to get better in the middle of the field, an area that they felt that they were bad in last year. He's been at extra pass rush inside.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15 with 1:15 to play. Mikowski avoids trouble, throws up top. Moore had it, and then it came loose. Greg Newsome right there with him. It looked like Moore just couldn't haul it in, and Reggie White for the first time today applied pressure.
Moore has this ball, but it's a good job by Newsome of ripping. Watch Newsome's hands. He knows he can't out-jump Moore, but watch this right there. He rips that ball right out of there. You never, ever, ever give up if a ball's caught on you, because it's not over until the referee marks it. Good play. He knows he's not going to out-jump him, but Jim tries to just rip the ball out of there.
Detroit, 3 timeouts remaining. Likewise for the Packers. 1:11 to go until halftime, and it's a 3rd and 15. They need to get to the Green Bay 46 for a first down, and this is not going to do that trick. Morton will be stopped at his own 42-yard line, and Green Bay's going to call timeout. They have 1:01 left, and they're going to get the football one more time. And we'll be back to Lambeau Field in a moment. Football with all 3 timeouts remaining, but bear in mind, Mark Royals had one blocked last week. Green Bay blocked one last week.
Eugene Robinson just got taken down like you wouldn't believe.
And another flag down on the play. all the way back at the line of scrimmage after a 48-yard punt. And this looks like it's going to be called against Detroit.
Yeah, they're going to get Ryan Stewart. He comes with his best impression of the WWF. Why not? Everybody else is. There's Stewart there. He was backing up, protecting on the punt. Just completely twirls Eugene Robinson.
Holding. Offense, number 38, 10 yards, 4th down.
Watch over there. Ryan Stewart, he picks up the block and then just, it's a nice karate move. What do you call that? Jiu-jitsu? Kung Fu? It's all that good stuff. WWF.
Right. The Royals is going to do it again. Low line drive. Howard will have a chance to return from his 33, and he will cross midfield.
That's what I don't understand. He has room to run for a few extra yards. Take that ball inside and get the yards. You know, I get tired of watching guys run out of bounds when they think they're going to get hit. I mean, a nice return here, okay? And real estate is crucial down on this side. He's got a blocker right there. He's got people inside. Take it inside and run the ball. And it's not a matter of saving that much time on the clock,
well,
so you give up another few seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
It stops anyway when you open the possession. And here's Favre to throw. Catch is made by Mickens, and he did not get out of bounds. Close to first down yardage at the 40-yard line. And they're saying he did get out of bounds after all. So the clock stops, 36 seconds left.
This is where a lot of teams have slipped up on the Green Bay Packers, and this is where they've taken advantage of it. Inside 2 minutes, as you mentioned, Tom, they are very, very good at getting that last little kick before they run in at halftime. They always have the last word, and that's what you can't give them.
Bennett and Levens in the backfield against Favre to throw. Near side, and step for step with Mickens with Ryan McNeil. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. The ball at the Detroit 40-yard line, and there are 33 seconds remaining. Now, Chris Jackie's career long is 54 yards. That came against Detroit in '94. So to get in that neighborhood, they need to move the ball another 2-3 yards at the very minimum.
Well, the way I've seen Jackie kick that ball sometimes, I don't know what's in his range, because he can hit it from anywhere.
Sure can. There's the necessary yardage and then some to Mickens, who's having a big day. His first game active all year to the 22, and the Packers right there spend a timeout after a 16-yard game. 23 seconds left. We'll be back.
Back to what happened on that punt with the penalty. And then that's a big difference field position-wise. Next, Royals kicks a line drive and a pretty good return by Desmond Howard. Now you're in trouble.
So 23 seconds remain. Ball at the Detroit 23-yard line in a 14-10 Green Bay lead. Packers have 1 timeout left. And Favre goes down and he has to spend it. And they're in danger of being out of field goal range.
Luther Ellis showing up for the Lions today, getting somebody back in healthy and making a difference. When you have to double team Henry Thomas, then you got this guy that can make plays. He's working on Andy Timmerman and then just pushes. And see, that's what they talk about, Tom, not letting him out of that pocket. Keep him in there, get to him before he gets out, especially going to his right side. That's where he's great, going to his right side.
Well, Green Bay now out of timeouts. The ball is at the 36-yard line, which would mean roughly a 53-yard field goal attempt should we get that far for Chris Jackie. Do you just maybe take a shot, a time or two at the sideline, or at least 2 more, 2nd down upcoming? Or do you just take 1 shot, maybe get 5 of it back and bring on Jackie?
Well, the problem with that, you know, with the sideline, I don't think that people are on the same page enough with who you have out there personnel-wise to do that. Mickens has shown up. BB still, you know, he's not there. Your strength really is inside with the tight ends and backs. But it does have to, it's got to be something along the sides. There's Rutgers. He's stepping in for the first time here today.
And they're going to slowly bring him back into the mix.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of it.
All right, a 2nd and 23. Nickens at the top of your screen. You have Chmura, Jackson, and Beebe at the bottom. And Favre to throw, and it's overthrown. Looked like a cross-up between Favre and
that's
Nickens.
what I'm talking about. You're not on the same page enough with the injuries out there to run those type of things.
I'm not so sure Mickens couldn't have gone for 6 if he doesn't stop.
You know, Mickens is going to come down and do a turn, but apparently Favre thought he was going to head up the field. See, right there. I mean, he has Borgella beat if he just keeps running.
Yeah.
Antonio Freeman. Boy, he broke that forearm. They had to put a metal plate in there to help stimulate the healing process.
3rd down, Green Bay out of timeout. And we have 13 seconds left. Favre looking down the field, wants it all. And it's intercepted in the end zone by Ryan McNeil. So the Packers, with a 4-point lead, electing not to put themselves in field goal position. They went for it all.
It would have been hard to rush people on the field to get the field goal. And they said, if we're going to give it up, let's just give it up going for the end zone.
Another factor could possibly be the wind in the face of Jackie, but once inside the stadium, down a little bit, it swirls quite a bit.
Yeah, that's huge though for Detroit. That says something going into halftime. Detroit goes from a team that comes in here on the way down, not happy about themselves, coach fired, all that kind of stuff, to now we are about to whip the division champion.
So at halftime, Green Bay 14, Detroit 10. JB and Terry will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages. This is the NFL on Fox.
Brought to you by